I was working in the Scottish Parliament at the time, and I told many people, I worked with and some of the politicians about the story, because I felt strongly that, this story had it was a good news story, one of the few good news stories from the war. And I was greatly encouraged, to write it all down. And I'd written some of it down, but my husband and I had always talked about putting a memorial up on the camp. And when I told one of my journalist friends, he put it onto a news site, and it seemed to go viral. And I had contacts from all over the world. I seemed to be on radio and TV everywhere, and I hadn't a clue what I was going to actually do to produce this memorial. And it was the sculptor Alan B.T. Herriot, who lives outside Edinburgh, who rang me up and said he was really keen to do this. And he had just done a memorial about Bamsa, the Norwegian sea dog. And I told him the story that Kay told me about the soldier at night walking the bear out on the road in front of our farm because it kept his claws down. And Alan took that story and made it into this memorial. Once it got to the point where the interest was so much, I had something like 100,000 pieces of correspondence, and I was trying to handle that alone. And also the expectation was going to be more than this. It was originally going to be this size. As the expectation grew, so did effectively the memorial size grow until he's now life and a quarter. So of course that was more money. So I created the Wojtek Memorial Trust and got some trustees together. And it took some time to find a site and also raise the money. We're very lucky that Edinburgh Council decided that we could go into Princess Street Gardens, which is a World Heritage Site, and we're very pleased about that. And the planners were extremely helpful. And so really the trust is now disbanded because we had to. That was the mission, was to create this memorial. But it's taken 8 years really effectively to get to this stage. But the memorial's up now, it's been up for a year, so we're really pleased about that. I'm now back to being me again. So I've set up Wojtek Scotland, and Wojtek Scotland at the moment is raising, I go around the country talking about Wojtek, and I get paid in teddies. I ask to be paid in teddies. And these teddies go all over the world. Literally, we've got 2 boxes went out to Africa yesterday morning, 2 boxes went to Uzbekistan, a box went to Poland. So wherever the children have very little, they will get at least a teddy, because our mission is, every child should have a teddy. And we found that working with psychologists, especially with Syrian refugees, he was a Syrian brown bear, working with children who have been so traumatized, they will often speak to or hold, a fluffy toy and speak to it, and it may be the only possession they have. So the idea was that Wojtek would be part of, a healing process, because he was very much a healing process to those who were with him. He was a morale booster. That's why many of the Poles were very disturbed and very unhappy when he was put into the zoo, but it was either that or have him put down. So